Welcome back. This is Father Moo. Thank you so much for joining us in the big church today. Somebody let some of those digital birds and insects into the church. They left the door open overnight, and the digital birds got in, and the digital bugs got in. It's a mess back here. It's a friggin' mess all over the church. Let the pop-ups back in. It's crazy. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in again. Felt like my video output has been a bit down the last month, but maybe less of the Nord Micromodular stream and more of the just hardware videos from the old Moo collection. Taking some stuff from my Twitch streams and uploading that just so people can hear what's going on if you're not on Twitch, which I totally understand. I was laughing to my friend the other day that I must have the worst resolution of any live streamer's camera currently on Twitch because I'm still using the old laptop camera. I think it's like minus 1 megapixels resolution or something like that. It's very poor. It's not good. But whatever. The music sounds good and the audio quality is clear. So I think I'm okay with that for a while. But I came back again today to drop another stream on everybody. So without wasting too much time listening to the old patches, let's get to some new patches. Let's do this. Well, I often talk about the plan I have before I build anything. It's good to have a plan in mind. If you have a rigid plan, that's one thing. If you have a more chill plan or just a general sort of outline, sometimes that can be more rewarding. And I think that's what I wanted to do today. I spend a lot of time, I noticed, setting up sequencers and switches and a lot of control devices. But I really just wanted to make some ambient tones today, and I wanted to do that by not worrying too much about the awesome, complicated, logic-driven sequence that goes into each one, but rather building a patch one tone at a time and just taking the time to get the tone right before rushing on to the next thing. So you won't see me drop in 12 drum oscillators to start. I'm going to try and just get some cool sounds going. I say ambient, that is my general goal today. So it's gonna be more like stretched out sort of tones, but I hope to still keep that melodic and interesting in its own way. Ambient shouldn't mean boring, although it certainly can. And so you can see I've got a spectral osc up here to start. That's one of the unique digital oscillators on the Nord Micromodular. I decided to pair that up with the classic LP filter because I dig it. I dig the sound. And today we're definitely going to skip the traditional attack decay envelope in favor of an ADSR envelope. Now that's pretty standard on most hardware synths. It was the only kind of envelope I had for years back on, like the MS-2000 and the other early synths from my collection. The Yamaha AN1X, that was a good keyboard. Gave it to my brother, sold it for a profit. I was like, you're supposed to play it, man. But whatever. It's all good. So yeah, the ADSR used to be the only thing I really had. And for pads and ambient tones, it's just what the doctor ordered. So like I said, I'm not going to stress too much about the sequencing side of things today. And with that in mind, I'm going to use this guy. This is good old random pulse generator. As you can see from his flashing light here, he either sends a pulse or he doesn't. And if you turn him to the left, he will send a long-held pulse, and then you'll have a long period of silence before he pulses again. And he does that, randomly, so you can't always be sure when he's going to do that. But when he does, he's going to give you quite a drawn-out tone. If this is a guy playing on a piano keyboard, he'd be like slowly and laboriously pressing one note and holding it and then letting it go and then pressing another note or maybe the same one. So yeah, with this is going to be the output of that is going to go into the gate input of my ADSR envelope. So let's hook up the modules, and then as I said, just work on the tone of it. Just work on the sound until I get something I like, and we'll see how it goes. So oscillator output into filter input into envelope input, and envelope output into mixer 1. So I heard that. We got a little bit of tone there. There it is. Okay, cool. So right off the bat, I'm going to keep doing things the traditional synthesizer way. In the traditional hardware synths, they're going to take a second ADSR, run the same gate into it, but then give it a slower attack. And here it's quite a significantly slower attack. And I'm going to give it a slower decay as well. And then a lower sustain level. And as for release time, I think we can set them both to something reasonable. Give it 100 milliseconds or so. So what that means is these two envelopes start at the same time because they get the same gate. But while the sound one opens immediately, the filter one opens much more slowly because of the difference in settings here. So that should give us a kind of a classic filter wah-wah type sound. And you'll notice that I'm not taking the red audio output, but rather the blue CV output, sending that into filter 1's control input, which I then turn up a bit. Good, so you heard that little like wow right at the beginning? That was because of the filter envelope being slower. Let's make it even. There we go. Now you're talking my language. Bring this down. That's the stuff right there. And just listen to the difference in sound for filter type. Maybe a little too much of this. Okay. Now this should be interesting. I do not know what effect this is going to have. The spectral shape is what gives the spectral oscillator its tone. But I wonder what would happen if you fed the the envelope input into that. Let's find out. Wait for the next note. Not bad. Give it a little more here. That was cool. Wonder if I can. Where's that thing? Control signal mixer. Yeah. I'm gonna try taking that signal and then just inverting it and sending that to the spectral shape. Not really much difference. Let's give it a good width. Not bad. Getting almost horn-like sound. I think that filter envelope is giving us the horn-like tonality here. Not bad. Kind of want to hear it down a bit. Let's go down an octave. And That's nice. It's an unusual tone, at least for my kind of programming. I want to get some random. There's random step. I also want to get random generator. Yeah, this is a smooth one. I want to send them down a bit, especially for my ambient stuff. I'm using these guys a lot just to introduce unpredictability into things. So although I have a nice filter envelope, I'm going to use a second input to send it just a little bit of unpredictability. And I'm going to do the same for the pitch, but I have to be real careful with this not to make it like drift off key. In fact, this is often when they talk about simulating an analog synth on a digital synth, this is what they do. Because the old analog synths would have trouble staying in tune due to heat or unstable power supplies. And these days, we don't really have those problems, but if you like that sound, this should help. And in fact, I'm even feeling... I was going to put in a phaser, but I think what I actually want is a chorus. So I try not to complain about the lack of stereo, but I do want to do this. Let's just take these out. I'm going to get silence for a sec. So we're only going to get one side of the chorus, a mono chorus. Yeah, it's still doing something I like, though. Check that out. Let's turn it up a little bit. Nice. Well, I wasn't expecting such a trumpety, trombone-y type of sound, but that's what we got, so I guess I can't complain about it too much. I'm going to put the random sources over here on the left. I put this mixer down here under the envelope because he's helping out the envelope. It's mostly from my own memory, really. But yeah. So I think we got a good first tone going. Let's move on to our next one. How about oscillator B? He's a bit of a more standard dude. I don't think I'm going to do sine wave today. I think I'm going to go with triangle or maybe saw. And let's keep it weird with the vocal filter. But still put a standard filter after it. So we'll hook up this audio chain. And over here we're going to do something similar to what we did before. So we'll start with just one ADSR. You know what? I'm just going to do it. I don't know if I'm going to use it or all the functionality, but I am going to take the ADSR envelope with modulation today. I'm taking it, baby. So this second line is our second voice. I'm still going to use the low pass output. Plug that into here. And I'm going to do the same thing as I did over here. I just copied down the exact same pulse generator. I'm going to make him a little bit higher density or faster. But they're both random, so they won't trigger at the same time anyway. And you know what might be interesting? I said I wasn't going to get too into sequencing, and I'm not going to do that. But what I am going to do is this. So I've got a 7-step sequence, so let's switch this to here. And instead of triggering the envelope directly, I'm going to use that random guy to be the clock. So every time he triggers a note, it will just advance one step. I'm hoping that'll be relatively slow. And I'll use the same gate that comes out of it to trigger the envelope. And I'm going to use the pitch output information to change the pitch of the oscillator. So they should still be in tune. Here we go. Not bad, not bad. So again, try not to get bogged down in notes and stick to tone. Now I want to listen to some of the different sounds of the vocal navigator. So I'm going to open up the filter a bit to make sure we can hear the higher frequencies. I know what I tend to do here, which is to use U, O, and maybe O, E, yeah. And I'm going to take that random source from before. Actually, you know what? I'm going to take this one, the stepped random source. So we'll change the vowel tonality. Just for craziness, I think I'm going to try connecting the frequency here to the filter output of the second envelope. Don't know how well that will work long term. And I'm wondering if I should try a square wave. Might be interesting. Okay, that's the weirdness of the frequency there. Let's try sending the slow random to pulse width, because smooth is going to probably work better. And now we're going to dial this guy back again. Okay, that was the cool weirdness of the vocal filter. And save a little processing power. I'm going to mix these two randoms together to make a new random, which is not stepped or smooth. Feed that to the second filter's frequency. Okay, let's listen a bit, because I was talking a lot. Open up the release to make it smoother. Neat. Kind of hearing this note, which is a B natural. If it was in C, I'm going to change it to a B flat. Interesting. I don't know if this is the right thing to do, but I'm getting a message from the universe to use the big ass sign bank. Yeah, that's right. And how do we trigger this again? This guy's a weirdo, but it's cool weirdo. Let's give him the phaser. Gonna need some more well, let's see what we can get here. There's one, two, three, I don't think the filter envelopes are gonna help, so I'm gonna make another random generator, and I'm going to mixer. I'm going to mix the two smooths together in that one. There's smoothie and smoothie. Don't move around on me. But this one is still too fast, so dial it down. In fact, make him the slowest of all. Feed him to here. And feed his unfiltered output to the sixth one. These are the amplitude modifiers, or the level determiners of the sine waves. So let's just hook this up so we can hear it. It's making a big crazy. We should probably give him an envelope too, or it'll be too crazy. Okay, there's his line. So this is all sine waves, so it has no filter, which it doesn't need. You could have had a wave wrapper, but that'd be too much of a harsh toke. So I just gave it the phaser for movement and modulating the amplitude levels, which is just the volume levels of that. We'll also do some weird stuff. Get the LFO down. And we've made a third pulse gen. So here it is. Give it some lead. This is pretty cool, actually. We haven't even powered up the oscillators here yet. Turn the first two off so we can hear Mr. Sine Wave here. Okay. And these guys will take some randomness too. That's pretty cool. That's just the sine wave bank into the phaser now. So he's playing a tuned chord. This guy was playing a root note, and this guy was playing his little 7-step sequence, but they're all in the same key. Happens to be E major, I guess. There you can hear the overtones fading in and out due to their random schedules. It's not the wildest sound around. It's showing me it's pretty hot. Maybe there's too much feedback. Yeah, that's doing it. Still gonna dial this down a bit. Not with the red knob. It's good, so let's bring them back in. Look at my processing power. I'm up to 89%. I sure wasn't looking at that. I'm going to try bringing in one last voice here. I'm going to start with random pulse gen again. And I just want my oscillator to be noise, which I'm going to use a fixed high pass filter. And I'm at 92.3. I think I can get an envelope in there for him. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I didn't want to lose that. Static high pass. Yeah, that's right. I'm going to try and use this ADSR with modulation again. Let's put it here to fit. I used that for this voice, but I didn't plug the inputs. But, oh, this is HD. Well, whatever. Let's just put it in. See what we get. It's probably too long. Let's make sure we're actually hearing the tone, because it's supposed to be listening to tones today. There's the filter to the noise. There's the gate to the envelope. Cut out the lows. Okay, that's the noise. I want a way slower attack for sure. It's going to be pretty long too. It's good, it's pretty fizzy. Processing power to drop in a digitizer, my classic buddy. Yeah, we're at 98.2. So we filtered all the lows out of that noise. I'm going to turn the bits off, take the sample rate up way high, and then make my noise noisier, thanks to sample rate reduction. And I'm going to give him a little modulation from the stepped gen. Good, it sounds very overwhelming, but I'm not going to leave it that way. I'm dropping other random modulation into the three inputs of the envelope, so we can have more variety. And then I'm going to turn it way the heck down because it's way too freaking loud. There it is. Cool. I'm not sure if I even really want this modulation on the start or the last, so just hold maybe. Not bad. Okay, I wouldn't classify this as my greatest ambient work or anything, but I sure had fun putting those tones together. It gave me ideas for future tones. Reminded me not to forget about the power of two ADSR envelopes when it comes to shaping an analog filter sound and how it works with the overall sound. But yeah, it's kind of like church on the beach, man. It's got the organ tones, it's got the waves, and I like how the blue cables are all spilling out to manipulate and control all those crazy random functions. That's cool. wires. I was like, you don't like the wires? The wires are the best part. But chacun à son goût, as the man says, each to his own taste. Who am I to criticize? I'm just a crazy immortal guru who lives on a mountain. But yeah, I think we're going to stop there for today. Oh, I guess we got to save this bad boy. I was looking at those blue patches and I was thinking of... There's a track by The Orb which is called something like a giant pulsating brain expanding out into the entire universe or something like that. Well, we're not as crazy as that, but I'll steal the naming idea. I'm gonna call it Glowing Orb. That seems about right for this patch. So, yeah. So thank you so much for joining me again. Of course, I'll be back with more Nord Micromodular content. I will never give up this format until the synth finally dies on me. No one can stop me doing this. It's what I need to do. It's my therapy now, man. It's my therapy. If I had a therapist, I'm sure he'd tell me to do this. Of course, my therapist is a giant glowing orb, but, you know, that's the way it goes sometimes. So anyway, thanks again for tuning in. Feel free to check me out on Twitch. It's not the same as this, but it's still me. Still making sounds. But, you know, don't. Just do whatever you want, man. It's all good. And don't forget to be the first person to actually support the Patreon. We don't know who that first person is, but, oh man, the rewards are going to be generous to that dude. So, yeah, thanks again. I'm tuning out now. Tune in, tune out, plug cables. That's my motto for today. So peace to all, and we'll see you in the next one. Father Moo out.